I'm standing on a very small island, as you can see.
А тут уже нормально. Тут уже пройдем.
Hello guys, and welcome to Survival Russia. So today is the second day of the X build, the Russian Taiga X. And I modified from the domestic or farm X, right? But I know many of you are interested in seeing how did it clean up. So let's see how did it clean up in the acetone and transmission fluid. This is what it looks like. It still have quite a patina, you can say. But what I think is the problem, not even the problem, but why it didn't clean up like to metal blank, you can say. I think it is because that, you know, all X's, they have some kind of a patina on them from the forging already. And this has been in the ground, I don't know how long, maybe since the war, maybe since the 60s, I have no idea. Yeah, it's sort of cleaned up, but it didn't remove all the blackish patina it already has, so maybe I'll keep it like this, I don't really know. But yeah, let's take a little close-up of the finish here. It's actually pretty water resistant, I found out. Most likely because of the transmission fluid. About the acetone and transmission fluid hack, you can call it, or rust cleaning, it really works awesome, but I normally used it for non-treated materials like bolts and nuts and sprockets, gear wheels and stuff like that. And for that clean rust, it does really well, but obviously there's an old patina left here on it, so that does not really want to come off, and I actually doubt that I want it to come off. As you also can see, the gnats here have arrived. It's awesome. For you guys in Sweden, you know what these are. In Swedish they're called knut. And they're really, really irritating. Okay, but I'm actually also working on the Haft, as you can see. That's gonna be pretty interesting actually. I'm gonna wedge the axe head here in a very, very Russian way. I mean, I can tell you one thing about Russians. Either they do something really, really simple, like the AK and all sorts of stuff, or like their language, they do something really, really, really complicated. And this is a very complicated way of you can say, hanging an axe, or anyway, wedging it. That's gonna be pretty awesome. I'm working on fitting the axe head already on this early stage here, because if I can fit the axe head, then I sort of like can form the rest of the haft according to how the axe head sits. I mean, this is not even a ready haft, so I prefer to get the head on and then shape the haft. I mean, it's one thing to hang an axe from an already factory made or carpenter made haft, but to hang an axe and make the haft yourself and so on is a little bit more complicated. At the moment I'm using this little hatchet here, silky hatchet. It's a silky Ono. It's a really, really awesome hatchet. By the way, Ono means hatchet in Japanese. But this guy here is also really sharp and very controllable, nice rubber handle and so on. So yeah, this is what I'm using at the moment. Using an old Soviet plane, sharpened by hand, by me. I sharpen everything I use by hand only. I don't like to be reliant on machines for sharpening my tools, and neither here nor in the forest. So as you can see from my footage on making the haft here, I don't really have a workbench or awesome woodworking bench, so I'm using the bulldozer here. That is an expensive workbench, but it's a pretty awesome workbench actually. You can see I'm working with a lot more wood than I actually need, right? I found out that the haft here, it fits really nicely into this mount here for the hydraulic cylinder. So so I can mount it here, and then I can work with the Haft here. Then I have my awesome workbench over here, which is a bulldozer track. I have one of my knives, a rasp without a handle, and I'm gonna make a video on making file handles in a really awesome Russian way. My axe head, and my tool bag here with all sorts of awesome tools. When you have the head on a Haft and you are trying to fit it, how you're doing it is you turn it around and you lock it from the top here. And then the head works its way up. We're about halfway through, and I want a centimeter or something extra on top for the wedging. So after putting on the X head, I can see small marks here where I need to take off some material. I'll put it on my expensive workbench here. Remove material, put the head on, remove material, put the head on, until it's there. The more time you spend on fitting the Haft to the eye, the better it will fit. So guys, I'll get on with it and get back to you later. I managed to get the head on. Of course, shafts here have to be modified and stuff, but it's a pretty decent fit. The reason it gapes up here is of course that the top of the eye is larger than the bottom. Also the insects got completely mad. They are still a little bit mad, but I brought out a big chunk of charcoal. Yeah, the charcoal managed to keep the insects at bay a little bit. Okay guys, so the general shape of the handle and the axe itself is done, basically. Of course, so I just need to polish it off and this and that. But this is basically what's gonna look like. But there's quite a way to go yet, because I mean it has to be sharpened. I have to finish it up in some way. I think I'm gonna order some bluing, some cold bluing online, and see what it can do with that. Also, we have to make the wedges up here, and I'm gonna make this funky Russian 5-wedge system and some other funky stuff, which should make the handle really awesome and last for a long time. I prefer axes, either with a light head and a longer handle, or with a heavy head and a little bit shorter handle. That's just how it is. But I will get in and I will edit this video, and then we'll take the third part some other day. And yeah, I think I have to go start on the Survival Russia vehicle. So guys, please check the links in the description, and if you like to support the channel, there's links in the description for that too. That would be awesome. Sub share, subscribe, sub better and sub like, and all that good stuff. And until next time, get out and train, get it done. And see you next time here in Springtime Russia. Thank you for your time, guys.